Hi guys, right, today we're going to have a look at this charger. Now this is for the Phantom 3 batteries. This is a car charger. It's not the official charger that you can get from DJI. This is a cheaper version. I bought this one off Amazon and I'm not too sure how much I paid for it now. The listing is apparently it's unavailable at the moment, so I don't know if that means there's issues with it. But I have found other ones that look more or less identical, but under a different brand, and they seem to be going for around £10. Now, should you really be charging a very expensive Phantom 3 battery with a charger that costs about a tenner? Probably not. But it's a cheap car charger, and the Phantom 3 batteries have all the control circuitry built into them. So this one was sold under the brand of HobbyTiger, another one of these sort of unknown brands. As you can see, this is the form factor of it. Doesn't really have any ventilation slots. It's got kind of sort of areas where they could cut slots in there, but they haven't actually done it, and it does get quite warm. I've not actually used it in the car. It's the first time I'm using it today. I just wanted to see if it would work or not. The Phantom 3 charger that I've got is a standard mains charger, and that one I think is about 3.3 amps output. It's a 57 watt version. You can buy the 100 watt ones which charge a lot quicker, but they're a lot more expensive. So this one is rated for 17.5 volts output. The actual DJI one is 17.4, so I don't know if that's going to make a big difference. And this one says 4 amps. Now, hooking it up to the power supply, I can't actually get it to draw the whole full 4 amps, because my power supply has got a maximum of 3.1. But it does draw the 3.1 amps, but it does get quite warm, so that does concern me. This connector is terrible, absolutely terrible. It's nothing like the proper DJI ones to actually get out. I virtually end up having to get a spudger or something like that and dig into it. It's got these little clips on the side. There we are. So it's not sprung loaded or anything like that, but it does fit reasonably well. So we can pop that in the battery, no problems at all. And if we turn the power supply on, I've got it set at 12 volts. There you can hear the noise of the fan in the power supply, and that's charging fine, and we've got a little red light on the charger. Like I say, that is drawing the 3.1 amps, but the voltage has dropped down to about 9 volts because the power supply can't handle it. So I expect in a car it will quite happily provide the full voltage. Sort of 12-13 volts, and probably the 4 amps. What would concern me is if it goes over the 4 amps. I don't know if this is properly regulated or not. So I turn that off now. So it says it's got overcharge protection, but generally the battery handles everything else itself. If you've got the standard Phantom charger, there's nothing special about it. It just switches on, it detects the load, and applies the full power. So we'll see if we can get this undone. This has got the typical arrangement they have. So I'm hoping that there's no screws in this. If we take this cover off here, ring off here, hopefully the plastic cover will pop apart. So there's our fuse. So what we got there, that's a guessing a 5 amp. Can't quite see the markings on that, but I'd expect that to be a 5 amp fuse as it's rated for 4. Let's see what we can do with this, see if we can get this apart. Normally these little rings cover the plastic there. I expect this has been glued together. Yeah, so don't think there's any glue, but a fair amount of sort of clips holding it in place. Actually, I think they might have actually had glue on it. Yeah, I'll probably have to glue it back together. So there's a fair bit of force required to remove that. So take that out there. So this is our main board. What does that say on it? So DC 12 volt, 17.5 volts out, and that says 3 amps. So yeah, it's definitely trying to draw a lot more than 3 amps, and the listing says 4. So that's interesting. We've got a little chip on here. Let's have a look and see what that is. So looking zoomed in at that, it's looking, I think it says VC3843A. So there's a further look at the board. Out, positive, minus. Giant heatsink on it. Now I don't know how this is actually held on. It looks, oh yes I see, so that looks like it's been heat staked in there. So cut those off and see if we can pop the lid off. Alright, I thought that had actually been put in sort of plastic and then heat staked in, but no, it's not. It's actually screwed in. So they've got the screw there through that device there holding it in, but it looks like they've got another one this side, so I'm not sure how they've actually achieved that, because there's no cutouts in the board to allow you to get a screwdriver in there. So yeah, I don't think we're going to be getting inside that. But looking at the layout, that just looks like a sort of bog standard boost converter. So I don't know if this does actually have any kind of protection in it, or if it is just simply a boost converter just boosting up to that voltage and passing as much current as it can. I think I'm going to look up that chip and see if that gives us any more clues. Okay, so I've had a look at that chip, and it's not actually VC, it's UC3842. And that one seems to be, I've got a Fairchild data sheet up here, and that's got it down as fixed frequency current mode PWM controller, specifically designed for offline and DC to DC converter applications. So yes, that's certainly not any kind of charge controlling chip whatsoever. And having the inductor there, so that's going to be some kind of boost converter, I'm pretty sure. We've got a capacitor in there. There's a couple of capacitors there. 470 microfarad. I'm not quite sure what the other one is. And another device hidden underneath there. So as you can see, the main connector's actually got 3 wires coming from it, and you don't often see that. Now that's obviously because you've got the 2 grounds. Often they just use one of these, so they're using both of them, and of course that's going to give slightly higher current capability. The wires are not super thick though. I'm guessing 3-4 amps is probably okay. So that's a general overview of the board. Nothing much going on. Like I say, I'm pretty sure it's just a standard boost converter. So yeah, certainly doesn't have any protection circuitry that I'm aware of, unless it is hidden underneath. And you know, I do want to use this. I'm not going to go to the effort of desoldering all of this just to get it out. Soldering quality is okay, not perfect, but it's not too bad. So I want to have a look at the voltage output on this. So I'm going to get it connected to the power supply, and we'll hook up the multimeter and see what we're getting. Okay, so I've got that hooked up to the power supply, and that is powered on. Now we don't get any voltage reading on it at the moment because it's not detecting a load, so it won't actually switch on. So we need to connect the battery up to it. Right, so as you can hear, the power supply is ramped up. I'm currently trying to draw 3 amps. So I'm just going to have a look and just see. So I'm getting at the minute 15.38 volts. So it's certainly within, well, I mean, within the range of the battery. The battery is a 15.2 volt battery, but it should be giving out 17, and that's no doubt because the power supply cannot provide the current required. So I think connecting up to your car, where you should have at least, I would guess, 5 amps supply at the cigarette lighter socket, shouldn't have a problem whatsoever. Would I trust this as a charger? I guess so, so long as you don't sort of leave it alone. Like I say, it's sort of claimed having overcurrent protection, etc. I don't think it does have. I did just short the pins out on it, and it happily seemed to handle that. It didn't shut off or anything. So certainly doesn't have that sort of overcharge protection as such. It's just a relatively dumb charger. But having said that, the standard DJI chargers are also a relatively dumb charger. All of it's in the battery. That's why these batteries cost so much money. So that's controlling everything. So I think so long as this isn't putting out more voltage than it should do. Hard to tell. I need to get it connected to the car with the case off and measure it. But I expect it's putting out roughly what it says it is, and in which case don't see a major problem with it. But if I do get any issues with this, I will certainly report back. So that's kind of a quick look and overview of one of these sort of cheapo car chargers for the Phantom 3. I think probably if you want to, as I do, maintain the life of the battery, I think it's probably wise to invest in a proper one from DJI. Which actually has a completely separate power brick, and also, like I say, there's no ventilation. They've got the area to cut out and they haven't actually cut them out, so that's something you could do. You could cut some slots out in that, because this does get pretty warm, because it's all very well having a big heatsink on it, but no good if you've got no airflow. So yeah, that's a bit of a fail. So I hope you found that video useful. If you've got a car charger for a Phantom 3 battery, leave it in the comments as to which one you've got and how you get on with it. And if I find anything else out about this, I'll keep you updated. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so. And if you'd like to consider making a donation via Patreon, links are below and via my website. See you soon for the next video. Cheers.